Well, you know music, and you can count all the way up to two.
All the way up to 6 if I had to.
I got one more voice here. I have a complete warm-up routine. Yep. Like, so this is funny. Are we live?
Yeah.
All right. What's up, dog? And dogettes. I'm caffeinated the fuck out, dude. I guzzled like a 3/4 of my energy drink.
Why don't you bring it in?
I didn't want to finish it because I burp, and I don't want to burp on the podcast. I don't want to be over here going. Bleh. Or what was I saying?
Your warm-up routine.
Oh, okay. So funny routine. When I was younger, not that much younger, probably not in high school, if I knew I was gonna be talking to a cute girl, I'd warm up my voice before I would talk to her, and I'd do the weirdest shit. I'd be sitting there like, King Kong Bing Bong, just fucking saying the most dumb shit, dude. And then I'd do like tongue twisters, like Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, because my fat ass tongue would get in the fucking way.
Would you still fuck it up?
Yeah, yeah. Most of the time I would. 9 out of 10 times. Sometimes I'd come off pretty chill. Oh, this one girl in high school. I gotta chill myself out.
You don't have. No, you do have. You take like caffeine pills.
Not anymore. I've been off
Have
the
you been
caffeine.
off the goop for a little
So
bit?
when I'm on the goop, I'm fucking tweaking. There's she was so pretty. Her name was Nicolette, and I was a sophomore. And one day she tapped me on the shoulder from behind to talk to me. I think she was trying to flirt. I know she was. And so I was sitting in the hallway with my best friend, and I feel a tap on my shoulder, and I'm like, huh. But I didn't turn around. I don't know why. So she did it again. And I turned around. And I went, huh. I turned back around. Kept talking to my friend. I panicked. I went into panic mode. And he looked at me like, he's like,
What are you fucking doing? What are you doing?
he like mouthed like, you fucking moron. So then I turned around and I started talking to her. And I could not form a sentence. It was so embarrassing. Like, she said, like, hi, how you doing? And I was like, I don't remember what I said, but it was along the lines of, like, yeah. Just go, wait a minute here. You looking at my mic?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Spin it. There you wait. A little more.
Where's the thingies at?
You're holding one.
Right here?
No, they are.
Don't tell me. I'm going to figure it out. Oh.
Adjacent.
Still tight.
There you go. Yeah, I think you're golden. I see the back.
We good?
Yeah.
All right, gang. But yeah, that's what I used to do. I used to warm up my voice like a weirdo and attempt to talk, and it didn't help at all. I just sounded a little more punctual.
I think it would be like low key, a little flattering if someone couldn't form a sentence while they're trying to talk to you.
To me, it would be cute. Like, if a girl was doing it, I think it would be adorable.
I'd be like, Can I get a
Big Mac, Whopper. Big Mac, Whopper, cheeseburger, hamburger. But, no, that'd be cool. Like, but I think that girls don't like that. Well, maybe some of them, but I think most of them see it as like, you're insecure, which I am. So you're right.
Yeah, I think
Congratulations, you discovered something.
I think most people are in some
Yeah.
way.
So how was your week?
It was,
Long.
yeah.
It was a
It felt
long
long.
ass week.
And it was a short week, too.
Yes. I think Thursday, I thought it was like I knew it was Thursday, but it felt like a Friday to me.
I don't like doing activities at work on Friday and then going back to work.
No.
I'm like, dude, I can't continue.
I think like everybody can relate to that. Like if you're given donuts or something that just like, I mean, junk food basically, especially just kind of like, just like knocks your ass out. Like, do you want to work after you do that? No.
No motivation.
Who wants to do that? You just douse yourself with sugar and fats and delicious foods.
You just want to sit there and
Think about your
wallow.
Yeah, and your misery. Happily though. We didn't do anything for like an hour, over an hour.
I did a little bit.
Me
I
and
did
and
what I had to
Parker
do.
just sat there and stared at each other for like an hour and a half. We're like, yeah, this is it. We're not doing anything. But yeah.
I
Keith was
noticed that you
working.
didn't notice my shirt. This is the first time I've worn it ever. It says
Oh my God. I got two wolves inside of
Two
me.
wolves inside of me, and they won't stop
What the
fucking.
fuck? I saw fucking earlier, and I was like, oh, that's normal for him to wear something like that.
No, I would.
I didn't see anything else.
I usually won't wear a shirt with like profanity on it. I think it's a little immature. Like what? Just that's just
but
my.
This is a classic here. This is different. This is territory that we haven't charted in.
This was a gift from Jonathan. His new thing for like the past year has been on everyone's birthday they get a Goofy T-shirt.
That's an awesome
And
present.
my birthday, he shows up. He's like, I gotta give you guys your gifts. I'm like, oh, cool, man. You shouldn't have. And then he gives me this. I'm like, dude, where can I wear this?
Where do you get that? Like, how does he discover this?
I don't know.
What does he look up? Like, two wolves fucking shirt? How does he
The
discover?
one he got Alex says submissive and breedable.
That's beautiful.
It's great.
That's beautiful. He's got some nice taste, I must say.
He does. Everyone gets Goofy shirts. So I'm excited to see the other Goofy shirts that come around.
I can never find like good meme shirts. You get like if you look up like meme shirt or something, you get like your, I don't know, like your typical like the frog dude.
Yeah. That I've seen like a lot of Among Us shit.
Yeah.
I think it's funny because it's kind of ironic.
But most people wouldn't think it
Right, I'm
was
an idiot.
ironic. They would think like, yeah, like we would think it was funny because we know it's like as a joke, but they'd be like, oh, dude, it's a
Guy's
funny
wearing an
shirt,
Among Us shirt.
bro. So I don't know. I always want like I like the commit tax fraud hat that I have.
I fuck with that hat.
Yeah, I have it. I almost wore it here, but I have a nice hair.
I
day
like
today.
ironic things like that.
I know.
On up here on this one up there, it says 100% tax. Fuck the prime minister. I like things like that.
Yes. See, now we should wear this stuff to work. Wear that to work.
I don't know where I could wear this shirt. Like I can't
Work.
wear it in public.
Why not?
It has two wolves fucking.
That's a beautiful natural thing. That's nature.
I can't.
Ask
This
them
is-
if they complain. Ask them if they watch National Geographic.
I should. I've had this since March. This is the first time I've worn it.
Yeah. National Geographic. Is it not super awkward when you're watching that and like they show animals having sex and you're with your family? Like I always thought that was super awkward.
Yeah, I can
It's
see.
like
how that's
why are you
awkward.
showing this?
It's like an acceptable sex scene,
But it's animals.
but it is.
You're watching animal porn, dude, with your family.
I don't want to watch animal porn.
No,
with my
you're watching a
family.
fucking hyena rail. It's fucking. I don't know. It's just weird.
But
You ever see hyena wiener?
No.
The girls have wieners.
What?
Oh, you gotta see this. It's so weird, but they're not wieners, but they are. It's so confusing. Yeah, they just got like these things just fucking slinging around.
I'm not proud to say I've seen a lot of animal dicks.
Well, some of them are fascinating.
Yeah, they are kind of
Some of
curious.
them are fucking gigantic, dude. See, that's the male and the female right there. But it's not a wiener. How do they have intercourse?
Watch National Geographic.
Is that like like those things that you stick your fingers in and they get stuck?
Yeah.
What's that called?
I get, lack of a better term, like a Chinese finger trap.
Yes. Like it must be like that. Like they must like, you know what I
They
mean?
dock.
I'm
They
like,
do docking.
Can't pull it out. Yeah, they I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah, docking is a term.
I wonder if anybody else knows what that is. Well, let's explain it in graphic
When
detail.
A daddy and a daddy love each other very much.
Come on, you didn't have to say that. You could have just said what it was.
Explain the birds and the bees and everybody.
That's when two male consenting partners, don't they have to be uncircumcised?
I don't know.
They stick their-
essentially just touch tips.
No, I think docking is when you like,
Yeah.
if you're on certain. I don't even.
So I guess like they touch tips, but think
they
of the
can-
word docking. You know,
Yeah,
they
they-
conjoin.
Such a weird way to explain it, but yeah, that's what they do. They like take their foreskin and like put it over the other one's foreskin, and make like a Chinese finger wiener trap.
The
Chinese wiener trap. What if you like got stuck like that? Like, oh,
Oh shit!
kick it out.
The
Weird.
harder you pull away, the worse it gets.
Ugh. It's dude. People discover weird things, like what was it? The beaver flavor or whatever used to be from the anal gland, or raspberry used to be from a beaver's ass glands.
I've heard that somewhere.
That changed a long time ago. They haven't done that for like 30 years, but
So some guy was eating
beaver's ass.
A beaver's ass. And he's like, well, I'm just going to taste like raspberries.
The beaver's like, oh, fuck, dude. Think bro is moaning.
It is. You've probably thought about this before, how people discover things like who decided to milk a cow. That's a very common one. I think a lot of people have talked about. But like, really, who decided to milk a cow? You see the udders and you're like, I'm gonna fucking yank on those. And then milk comes out and
give that a tug.
He's like, I'm gonna drink the milk.
Yeah, like, but they don't even know what that is, but they drink it. Like, this just came out of this giant stinky beast and that I jacked off.
Now everybody drinks milk.
You think the first person that like shit lost their mind?
Maybe it's like, what is this feeling?
And then there's a brown log just sliding down your fucking. I'd be freaking out, like, what the fuck? Yeah, that's got to be an experience.
I wonder if they did that, because that's something pretty natural. You think dogs or cats are like, what the fuck is this, dude?
When my dog poops, when I first got him, he'd turn around and just kind of look at it, like, ugh.
Man, that came out of me.
What the fuck? Yeah, I don't know. So, aside from all that stuff, what's going on in the world this week? Oh, Trump's conviction.
Big news this week.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. 34-0, dude. He got clean swept.
He's a legend.
I mean, yeah. Imagine having a felon president. It's kind of hard. You know what I mean?
I was thinking about this because I saw a lot of people say,
I'm holding the mic like that.
I don't really give a shit about this whole thing, if I'm being honest. But I can't help to read it. If I see an article or anything, I'll go read comments or whatever. Yeah. And a lot of people are like, imagine having a felon president. I'm like, I don't know. Personally, I think if someone has a felony, that doesn't automatically knock them off is like a degenerate piece of shit.
Yeah. Doesn't make them like not legitimate. And his felonies were all for paying off his side hoe.
It was all for money, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Paying a side hoe.
So
that's what they all were for.
I don't know. I don't think it's that bad. I think other presidents have done worse shit.
Like,
they just haven't been convicted of
like
it.
War crimes.
Yeah.
Like George Bush.
I did see something
Obama.
I didn't see it on Twitter. It was on Reddit from Twitter. Someone said, like, that's basically what they were doing. They were comparing this, which I'm sure Trump has war crimes. It's not like he didn't send any drone strikes. Every president who has had the power to send drone strikes has sent drone strikes and killed people. But they were kind of saying, like, 34 felonies for this kind of hush money thing versus drone strikes killing innocent civilians. Like, well, what's worse? You know, very obviously drone strikes killing civilians are worse.
Dude, you're crazy. It's not true at all.
He's not, like, really facing jail time, is he?
I don't know. Okay, we were talking about this at work a little bit. I don't know anybody else on earth that would get 34 felonies and not face prison time. That's a felony. Felonies are mandatory jail time typically, regardless of what they're for.
That's kind of what
even if it's for money laundering, fraudulent checks, all that shit is jailable, 100%. So how do you get 34 felonious convictions and no threat of jail time? You and I would be cooked.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I don't get it. It's like a different justice system all of a sudden.
There's been kids who get fucking like misdemeanor charges for having a little bit of weed in their car and get jail time.
People are in prison for weed.
And 34 felonies, and you might not get jail time.
And Kamala Harris put him in there, and then backtrack and say,
yeah,
you won't
she's
get put
a piece of shit.
Anyways, man, I digress. But, okay, I got another problem with this. 34-0 is suspicious. You're telling me that all 34 counts he's found guilty on. I don't believe that. All 34 counts that they charged him with were all found guilty. That never happens. So the way that this works is if you were a defendant and a victim or whatever the fuck you call it, they throw the book at you and hope that something sticks. That's how
like all police charging works, isn't it?
So they throw the book at him, and it just so happens that all 34 things stick. I don't understand that.
I'm curious if there were other things
I'm pretty sure it's all money
to charge him with.
Yeah, let's look at his conviction.
Quick Google will give me this. What all was Donald Trump charged with? Trump was charged with 34 counts of falsification of business records in the first degree, which is a felony in New York. I guess it was all 34.
Yeah, he wasn't like doing public urination or something.
Here's kind of like a breakdown. I hope it just shows this picture. Dun, dun, dun. So guilty on 11/11. Invoices for legal services, 11 charges. Checks paid for legal services, guilty of 11 charges. Ledger entries for legal expenses, guilty of 12 charges.
So it's all money.
Yeah, all money related. And it has them here. They're all who they're to. Kind of marking. Oh, here's they're dated. All 2017. It looked. Yeah, all in 2017.
Now, if I was to step outside the box and be unbiased, because you know how much I hate the Biden administration, I'm not shy about that. This sounds like political targeting, in my opinion. I'll just using my common sense. This is to eliminate your competition, so you don't have to face them because you can't defeat them, or you think you can't.
I think it could be a little bit of both. I thought about that, but the Biden administration really isn't responsible for the justice. Well, that sounds stupid, but
they put certain people in position, and I just feel like there's involvement there. I'm very whether it's CIA or FBI, there's involvement. I feel there's I don't want to use the word rigged, but I feel personally, I'm just saying this, I feel that there's certain judges and lawyers and things and people put in place. It's just a little, I don't know, like there's very specific who they used. It's
now, hopefully,
track record wise,
hopefully, our justice system is done on fair and equal basis, but we both know it's not really.
That's what I'm saying. So whether you like him or hate him, you can't just. You gotta be using. I feel you have to use common sense. It just does not. It just is suspicious, I guess.
This one picture I did see today. It was on the Pics subreddit. I wonder if I can probably find it real quick.
It's a disgrace to democracy.
Democracy died.
Yeah, I know.
So long ago.
We just still use the word. It's just completely different.
It was a picture of. I don't want to say
socialism.
Supreme Court justices. Where the fuck is it? Dude, like every picture on here is of Donald Trump.
Big D?
Yeah, almost like every single one. It's like Trump Tower, Trump this, Trump that. I'm so fucking sick of hearing about it and seeing it.
What system does Finland use? Is that democracy or socialism?
I have no idea.
Whatever they're using.
Do you like Finland?
I mean, yeah, they're all great countries over there. I wonder what they use.
Top today.
You do that. I'm gonna look that up real quick.
I'm searching. Maybe they took the post down because a lot of the comments made sense.
Democracy.
Oh, I don't think I can fucking find it. Anyway, it was a picture of 4 judges. They were all black women, and the caption was something along the lines of, "These are the judges who Trump will appeal to," insinuating Trump's gonna get fucked over because he's racist and these women are black. And I didn't like that, and a lot of the people in the comments didn't either, because what they're basically saying is, regardless of whether or not Trump is guilty, these 4 women will go against the evidence and give him the harshest punishment just because he's Donald Trump and they're black. And a lot of, most of the sentiment in the comments
and
was
women,
like that.
Because they think he's sexist too.
Right. And, I think that throws shade at those 4 judges.
No, so he went up against 4 black women?
I think those are the judges he's going to appeal to, because chances are, so he got the felonies, and I think next comes the appeal process.
Okay.
So that's who I believe he's appealing to.
So I don't agree with
It was just the sentiment of that post, and people were like, "OP, you look like an idiot, and you're kind of discrediting these 4 judges."
I think there's a similar problem, but it's not that. I think the problem there is why. Okay, the chances of there being 4 black women judges is minuscule. It feels like they're put there on purpose.
I don't think they were put there on purpose.
But the chances of them all being black women is very slim. Majority of judges are white males.
It really shouldn't even matter.
It shouldn't matter, but it's interesting that the chances of that are way less likely than it being a white male or a white woman or even just a black
Well, they
male.
were all voted in
by
New York.
By New York, which
State
is
of
not
New York.
surprising because they are all diversity based there. They just let's just be honest here. Certain Democratic states will diversity hire on purpose to appeal. California does it. New York does it.
Well, this isn't a hire. This
I know,
is
it's
a
voted.
vote into your position.
But those Democratic states are known to. I don't know how to
Kind of
explain it.
pander
Yeah,
to-
whether it's women or minorities, yeah. So that's. I'm not saying it doesn't legitimize them as they went through the process like they should have. They did nothing wrong. It's just interesting that statistically these states have more minorities percentage based than I don't know, like a Republican state or something like that. I just find it fascinating.
It could be interesting.
So that's not my point's just basically, yeah, I agree with you that you shouldn't shit on them because they're black women, but
I think the entire sentiment of the post was like, Trump is fucked. Yeah, he's gonna get the book thrown at him.
yeah,
Because
they're gonna
these women have something against them. And sure,
they're
they
gonna take
might,
it personally. Is what they're
like
saying.
it's their job, and saying they're gonna go against their duty and just throw the book at him.
You said duty. Uh-huh.
Just because they don't like him is kind of insulting to them.
Yeah, I agree.
And their profession.
I agree, but I can also. Well, no, not with that. I don't really see where he's coming from. Maybe it's something else, but
OP just got excited that Trump got charged, and like I said, I don't really give a shit. I don't think anything's really going to happen with it.
it's not. You can still run for president as a felon.
Right, he's still going to be on the ballot, but it's interesting. In some states, you cannot vote as a felon.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, man, I'm burping. Jesus.
So that shit. That's why I didn't bring mine in here. 'Cause we'd have a burp podcast instead of talking.
I think Florida's a state you cannot vote as a felon.
Yeah.
I saw a map today. It was interesting.
The system is very fascinating. So, what was I, so when like if this do you think that if this doesn't work, like they convict him of felony charges, but he's still destroying polls, as in like he's beating the Biden administration, do you think it's possible that they, I swear this is gonna sound whatever, do you think it's possible they attempt to assassinate this guy? Because we've heard Tucker Carlson say that, we've heard Kennedy Jr. say that, like people are starting to talk like, okay, the next step is assassination. Like they're becoming unhinged at this point. Or if they know they can't win.
I don't even think it's off the table for both parties.
No.
Because from what I see on mostly Reddit, that's my main source of bullshit, both sides are just fucking crazy ridiculous.
Yes. You all like the MAGAs, like the cult type.
Yeah, like the cult MAGAs
They're
and
nuts.
like the cult super far left Democrats. They're both crazy as fuck. Now, of course, that's a small majority of both of these sides.
But they make the most noise.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of them.
And there are a lot of them. There were, outside of Trump Tower, there were tons of people with huge Trump flags. I'm like, why are you even there?
Why are you dick riding?
Right.
To dick
like,
ride a human being like that is embarrassing.
crazy.
Regardless of who they are. It's just embarrassing.
Yeah, whether or not you're doing it for Biden or Trump, you look like an asshole.
Yes, you
look
wake
like a
up and
fool.
you go to bed with that on your mind. Like, you have nothing better to do. Come on.
So
You're embarrassed.
to say like assassination is off the table, I think if it were to happen, when was the last time a president was even assassinated?
I mean, officially it was Kennedy. I think there's been attempts.
I think there's been an attempt on was it Nixon or Reagan?
It was Nixon. And then he was attempted to get. I think they tried to
I
shoot
think it
him.
was Reagan actually.
Was it? Was that the one where there was a video of like somebody making like a loud noise and he actually
He's
tough?
like, miss me.
Is that Reagan or Nixon?
That's Reagan. I
Okay,
think.
then it was Reagan. I got.
I'm subscribed to the
attempted.
president's subreddit. It's
That's
very
interesting.
But it's been a while since there's been assassination, and I think people are so divided left and right now, further than they have been in a very long time.
It's just getting worse
It is getting worse.
at an exponentially fast rate.
If it's going to happen, it might be in the next 4 years.
I think the most likely time would be before November or around November.
Yeah.
But yeah, if Trump gets elected, I think, man, this country's gonna lose its fucking mind. Like the liberal side will go batshit, and then the Republican side will just further admire
Say, like,
and
fuck
adorn.
you,
Yeah,
I told you so.
and the cult my mentality will grow even more.
Yeah, it's really just going to get worse. And it's a damn shame that both our options are like
senile.
Yes, senile,
insane.
70, 80-year-old men.
That's insane.
That sucks.
Like you're putting like okay, so America's presidents are putting your best foot forward. Like,
and our third option has a fucking worm in his brain.
Oh yeah, you're
Bro,
Kennedy.
this is what we have to look forward to.
I can't listen to this dude talk.
I can't either.
It makes me like want to like. I want to like catch my breath when he talks.
I said it before. It makes him look weak,
and
and that's a
sucks,
terrible thing
but
to
it
say
does.
because it's not like it's something he can help.
But it's just true.
Someone with something so obviously that others can, quotes, pick on, just makes you look weak. And if you're gonna be the leader of, dare I say, the most powerful country in the world, you have to have a strong persona about you.
Or else they'll shit on you like they do Biden.
Yeah.
Biden's a fucking something wrong with that guy.
Like if you can't form a sentence, all you are is a target at that point.
Yeah. What I'm curious about this worm in Mr. Kennedy's brain. Like, is there an actual worm in the dude's brain, just like hanging out?
I think it's like a physical worm.
They can't get it out.
His brain.
I mean, you'd have to do invasive brain surgery.
RFK.
How did he get it, and where's it living, and what's it doing?
Brain.
Is it just lounging around reading a book?
RFK Jr. says doctors found a dead worm in his brain, May 8th, 2024.
Rest in peace.
That's crazy.
I wonder how big it was. Like,
it's in his brain.
I think it was like a nightcrawler.
Dude, if it was a nightcrawler, he's gone. He's gone. So
Ugh.
It's got to be.
How does that happen? Well, I know how it happens. It's bacteria, but I wonder how. Like, he must have been in like water.
That's what I'm thinking. A lot of people you can get parasites in your brain from water up your nose and your ears.
You ever hear the one that swims up your urethra?
Yeah. Don't piss in like Amazon.
That would be horrifying. I was watching, I think I talked to you about this in the past, but I was watching, again, a documentary on, it wasn't even a documentary. There's a guy that I watch on YouTube and Instagram that is, he raises alligators and crocodiles, and he goes wild diving in the Amazon in murky water with wild crocodiles and films them, like, from where we're sitting and touches them. Huh?
I'm good. I'm okay on that.
Like, okay, first of all, how are you swimming with titanium balls? Second of all, how is that even possible? And how are you, like, I don't understand. That's horrifying.
Yeah, no matter how close you are, how long you spent with the animals, they're still wild animals.
And he says, like, he's got a thing that he can talk to, like, a microphone. And he's saying, like, yeah, this animal could kill me at any time, and I am not safe at all. I just hope that I don't die. That's basically
really, it's just luck.
That's all he's saying. He's like, there's nothing I can do to stop like this animal from attacking me. I just have to, from my years of experience, I have to know what angles to approach and how to move and what not to do and stuff like that.
It's funny how you gather that experience, and the only way to do that is by fucking up and almost dying.
Yes, and he's been doing this for 20 years.
That's crazy.
I mean, every single day he has I don't even know what you call it, like a farm of alligators and crocodiles that he hangs out with and trains every day. He's just hanging out with them, sitting there. Someone's crawling up on his back, and some other fucker's coming up in front of him, and he's just like, me.
That's fucking crazy.
These are wild caught. Like, these are rescues from Florida. Like, people get gators in their yard, and he comes and has to rescue these wild alligators and just rehabilitates them. One's named Big Mac. He's really cool.
Big Mac.
Yeah.
I think it was in Florida. A gator was in someone's property. A couple cops were there. They restrained the gator, and they were trying to lift it into the truck. But this guy was kind of antagonizing it, like hitting it on the snout.
It's so satisfying.
And then it whips its head around and knocks him out. I'm like,
cold.
You fucking deserve that,
Yeah,
dude. Don't fuck
around
with the gator.
Bro, he was fucking with the alligator, like being a dick. So gators don't take no shit. He said, all right, watch that.
No, you got him. Put him in the truck. Let him go. Call it a day. Don't fuck with him.
Free my mans. I love alligators.
I like gators too. They're cool.
Yeah. Let's get back to the political system because this is fascinating to me. I don't want to stray. I like talking about this stuff because this is, like, I'm worried about what happens in November. Like, genuinely, like, I think that our country just loses. I mean, we've already lost our minds, but I think, like, we really experienced a shift in our chemistry in our brains as a country.
I think no matter the outcome, whether Biden wins, whether Trump wins, problems will arise.
Well, if Trump wins, there'll be this is what pisses me off. If Biden wins, I see protests, but I don't see violent rioting. If Trump wins, I see the same violent rioting that we saw.
I don't know. I mean, when Trump lost
Capitol.
There's that.
But
And
they weren't violent.
Well, they weren't until someone died.
And
then they broke in and like threatened to kill people, and
but that was like, I'm not gonna say that's true or whatever, but I'm pretty sure a lot of that was like that CNN type reporting of but there's no evidence of any of it.
Either way.
And the person that died was another scenario. I don't remember, but it wasn't like it was a murder, if that makes sense. Something weird happened.
Regardless, if you're breaking into the Capitol building,
you're insane.
That poses an issue in of itself.
Yeah.
And who's to say Democrats won't do the same if Trump wins,
But my problem is they will target innocent buildings and businesses. But to be honest, man, don't invade the Capitol. But if you're going to invade something, man, fuck those people. Make it a
political thing.
And make it a political thing, and also, like, fuck those people, all of them in there. Like, not the people that rioted. Well, yeah, fuck them, but fuck the people that run this country into the ground.
Yeah, they're all shitheads.
So, yeah, if you're going to do something, like, I can't really be mad at you going into Nancy Pelosi's office and fucking it up. Good for you.
She should be out of office. She should have been for a long time.
I think she stepped down recently.
Thank God.
Mm-hmm. And her husband was out here getting DUIs at 90 years old. What an animal.
Yeah, what a unit.
How do you even know how to drive?
I don't know. I think at 90.
And drunk.
There should 100% be a test you have to take. Maybe not periodically, but
every 2 years
at a certain age to determine whether or not you are safe to be on the road.
But they will hand out a license to anybody.
Yeah, and then you keep it forever. It never goes away.
On the way here, it was insane. People were driving like morons. We had people slamming on their brakes, and like I hate when people merge when they're in the on-ramp and they go 30 miles an hour merging on the highway.
They don't understand the concept of an on-ramp.
I do not. Yeah, I don't understand. So I'm looking behind me, trying not to get hit by somebody behind me, and this person's slamming on their brakes at 40 miles an hour on the highway, and I almost went into the back of them.
And the rules of the road dictate that the people merging, it is their responsibility to find time to merge. It is not the person in the right lane.
You can't find time when you got cars coming at you at 80 miles an hour and you're going 35. That's
you
horrifying.
need to get the fuck up to speed.
It's like fucking morons, dude. But what else happened? Anything of note? I mean, that was the biggest thing that happened this week in the world that we live in. I guess.
That's big. That'll be big for a while, and it'll die down. And then July 11th, I think, is when the dare I say punishment gets handed out.
You're gonna get spanking.
He's gonna get whomped.
34 spankings.
That's when we'll find out if he goes to jail.
He's not gonna get prison time.
I don't think he's gonna get.
They've already confirmed basically he's not getting prison time, which is so weird. Like those charges. Let me see. What was one of his charges?
They're all money related. There's like 11 counts, another 11 counts, and then 12 for different money related things.
Let's look up the punishment to one of them. 34-0. That's crazy.
That's a balling record.
Yeah, it is. It's like LeBron James in his prime. But where did you find his?
It was on NPR.
NPR?
Yeah. Let me see if I can find it again.
Oh, I found it.
Okay, here it is.
Checks paid for legal services.
Invoices for legal services. Checks paid for legal services. Ledger entries for legal expenses.
Let's look up.
So I'll just look at this first one. I'll read off the description real quick. Invoice from Michael Cohen, marked as a record of the Donald J. Trump.
I know Michael Cohen.
Revocable. I don't know how to fucking pronounce that.
What does it say?
Revocable trust.
Revocable.
I'm fucking stupid. Wait, is that revocable? It's a capital R.
I've never seen that. Like I've never seen the word revocable written, so I don't blame you.
I don't know what any of these things mean. So a lot of them are Michael Cohen. Who's Michael Cohen?
A popular political something. I know his name very familiarly. I just can't think of who he is.
American lawyer. It's Roy Cohen.
So it's hush money, basically, is what all those charges are.
Michael Cohen was convicted in 2018 of something.
Is that his lawyer? That was Trump's lawyer.
It is a lawyer.
That's Trump's lawyer, I think.
Okay, he got federal prison sentencing.
Yeah.
In December of 2018, Cohen was sentenced to 3 years in federal prison and ordered to pay a $50,000 fine. In February of 2019, the New York Supreme Court Appellate Division disbarred him from practicing law in the state. In May of 2019, he reported to the federal prison near Otisville, New York. In November 2021, he completed his sentence. So he got 3 years. Criminal charges are tax evasion, 1 count of making false statements in financial institution, 1 count of willfully causing an unlawful corporate contribution, 1 count of making an excessive campaign contribution at the request of a candidate or campaign, 1 count of making false statements to a congressional committee. This one's interesting to me. The 1 count of making an excessive campaign contribution. I didn't know.
So he made too much.
That was a crime?
Much. He gave somebody too much money?
I guess. Isn't that essentially just what lobbying is?
Yeah. That's interesting.
Convictions are fraud and perjury. So he got 3 years. Trump has 34 counts of felonious charges.
And they say that they are punishable by jail time.
But it's likely he won't receive jail time. So why is that?
It's Donald Trump. You can't. This is a big deal for America. You can't. If they put Trump in jail, shit's gonna go down. That's when like Civil War type shit starts like.
I guess
popping up.
But I think it's important to show that just because you're the president, you're not above the law. Whether or not, like, this could be any fucking president.
Yeah, but they all are, and they'll rub it right in your face.
They are.
Our system will just shove it in your face and make you smell it. Hillary Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, Paul Pelosi, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Hunter Biden. We could go on and on. They've all committed felonies. Nothing happens.
Is Hunter Biden even in politics?
No, but he's a substantial figure that was very clearly committing serious crimes and nothing ever happened to him. And the FBI lied about his laptop. They said they didn't have it when it turns out they totally did. And they got questioned on it and did their typical spiel of saying a whole lot of nothing. I just find that fascinating.
So it's very obvious that our justice system is very flawed.
Yes, people are above the law. When people say like nobody's above the law, that is not true. People are above the law.
There are a lot of people above the law, it seems.
And especially if you have money, but if you're also a powerful political figure, it really helps you. That you could do anything. You're telling me that Miss Clinton has never killed anybody or had anybody killed?
Bro, there's the Clinton kill count.
Come on. There's like 74.
Yeah, it's huge.
Do you ever read like the scenarios behind like some of these killings?
No, not really.
It's so crazy. Like there's so many that are like died of, or was like Hillary Clinton's advisor who snitched or something like that, and he'll have died of 2 gunshots to the back of the head.
That's suicide. It's open and closed.
Or a gunshot. One was a gunshot wound to the head, but he was found hanging from a tree with no weapon. Suicide. No joke. There's like tons of these, and they all have direct correlation to powerful political people, as in Hillary Clinton and others.
Them and Boeing would get along just fine.
Boeing's another crazy one. Like, how are they above the law? It's a company. Boeing is it's not any, you know what I mean?
They're above the law because they give military equipment.
That's all you gotta say. That's what I'm saying. It's just, this shit is so like, so fucked. It's just, and it's in your face. It's not even hidden. So they're charging, man, now I'm about to get mad.
Get mad.
They're charging my dog Trump with 34 fucking charges, right? Has anybody from Epstein's list been put in prison?
No, that just got, Ghislaine Maxwell.
Ooh.
Also,
what about all the people raping the kids? What happened to them?
Stephen Hawking's dead. As for all the other people on the island, like wasn't Bill Gates on
fucking up?
Bill Gates, Bill Clinton.
You go, a lot of these George Clooney, Oprah Winfrey. I mean, you go on and on about how many people. So many fucking people. It's nuts. What happened to them?
I wonder what they do to get out of it. Do they just give? So does the FBI come knocking like?
100%.
Hey, so yeah, we know you were on the island. We know you were sex trafficking children. You have 2 options. you can come with us. We'll take this to court, or you can give us a little bit of money. Like, is that how it goes?
It's not money. I think so. I don't know, but I'm very confident. So what happened with P. Diddy and like Kanye West and other really popular rappers exposed how this works in a way. So, for example, P. Diddy was a well-known offender of sex and many other things, abusive, rapist, fucking child sex predator. All this shit was well known for years. This was well known by Hollywood, and obviously the FBI and other whatever. Apparently, when this happens, they can use you as an informant. So they approach P. Diddy and they approach the diddler and tell him, look, we know what you've done. This is no secret. Like, we get it. We've done it too because we're in the FBI and we're sick fucks. Right. But either we have to do X with you, like we have to charge you or put this out in public, or you work for us or work with us and you give us information on other people, other things, and other ways we can blackmail other individuals because you're a powerful person. We know that you have information on other people. That's how this works. And then P. Diddy says, hey, Jay-Z was at this party and I can prove it to you, and he did this with this. And then they approach Jay-Z and gain blackmail and they gain political power over him, and they can use him now too to promote their candidates and other shit, like just crazy shit. Like when you see a rapper promoting a candidate that's suspicious, like Jay-Z, I'm just saying maybe he was approached and said, hey.
I don't think it's out of question. These agencies have done some shady shit in the past.
Heinous things.
And there's nothing stopping them from doing shady shit now.
No. And like you got, not only do you have the FBI, you have the Mossad. The Mossad and the FBI are one and the same. They work together. They're fucking horrible. The Mossad's evil. These people are evil. But my thing is, I think you have the FBI and the CIA, but then in the same group, you have a separate FBI and a separate CIA. You have like this bottom ranking of your everyday workers there, but then you have this like secret service. You have this like secret ranking system almost in my head. That's how I view it. Of like, there's very powerful people that all get together, and it's like they have meetings, and that's how this works.
Bohemian Grove type deal.
Yeah, similar, but I think that like I'll throw like random names out there that I think could be involved, like your Ellen DeGeneres, even Oprah Winfrey, like people like this. I think are not officially CIA or FBI, but they're working together with like these very powerful, influential people work hand in hand with whoever is running this show. And that's how you get them to, promote certain things and say certain things. And I'm just using them as examples because they're powerful, and they've been named. Bill Gates, like these are people that run the world. Of course they're in cahoots with your top-ranking secret government officials. And they're all lizards. Totally.
They're all lizards. It's just curious, like say they get to the top, the peak. Like, where do you just have this umbrella of influence over everyone where they have to do and say whatever you want, or else
you get exposed?
Then the repercussions come down on them.
Yep. If you don't go along with something or you act out, you get exposed and your name gets tarnished. Your life gets ruined. That's how it happens.
If say this is all true, hypothetically, maybe it is, but
allegedly,
I wonder at what point you decide to just ditch your humanity and say, yeah, like, sure, these people are trafficking children. I have children. I wouldn't want that to happen to them. But fuck all these other kids. I can use this as leverage and promote myself on the totem of power.
I don't think so. These people, like Bill Gates or Oprah or whoever, I don't think that they have morals to begin with. You don't get to that position without being narcissistic, self-obsessed, and willing to screw other people over. That's just not how that works.
That's how billionaires are made.
That's how they're made.
You can't be an ethical billionaire.
No. P. Diddy, Jay-Z, these are billionaires, and these are ruthless people. Oprah Winfrey, I don't care. Like, these are ruthless people. That's how they get there. So when they're approached with this, they already are self-obsessed and self-absorbed. They don't give a shit about these kids or anybody. They only care about their self-image, obviously. So they're now offered something that they deem beneficial to them, but they're also, their self-image is very important to them. So the threat of it being tarnished is extremely scary, I believe, for them. Like, it's something, the last thing they want as a narcissistic person is to have to be embarrassed in the public eye. So that's part of the reason, I think, too. But yeah, they're just moralists to begin with. And the FBI or whoever knows this, because it's you're a billionaire and you're a shitty person. You've exploited people your whole life. But yeah.
What about guys like Bezos and Musk? I'm going to say Musk probably has more influence than Bezos, but
Musk is another shithead. Like, yeah,
he's a shithead, but
he's done things that I support and agree with, like the free speech thing on Twitter. I am happy for, but it doesn't make him a good billionaire. I wonder
if he's done heinous shady shit and, is covering, in some sense, like kind of involved in the whole thing we just kind of spieled about. It's hard for me to believe some of the wealthiest men in the world have no hand in this. And the most power.
So my view on Elon Musk is no, only because of how he speaks out against the organization. Like, he's very open about his disdain for them, and because of his buying of Twitter and his changing of the guidelines and rules, they've almost been put on the chopping block by him. So I think that if he did have a hand in it, they would have, if they had evidence on him, they would have destroyed him by now, because he's made them look like morons by exposing things. Like, other social media would have censored stories about our Secret Service. Twitter does not anymore. So they've been put on the shit list multiple times. So that's my theory on that. I'm not saying he's a good person, he hasn't done shit, but they must not have the sex trafficking or something like that on him. Something massive. But I think he's an asshole. He's exploited people.
Yeah, I don't like him.
Takes credit for other people's work. He reminds me of Edison, taking Nikola Tesla's work.
Yeah, high key.
In a way. But yeah, I don't know. Bezos, I think, is another shithead. Bill Gates is a creep.
He's a weird dude.
Bill Gates is a weird dude. That's the best way to put it.
I feel like billionaires have this different aura about them, where they're just a different type of person. Like, something in their brain is just different. You hit a point where you have so much influence, so much power, so much wealth that I don't know. I can't imagine you get say Elon or Jeff or any of those guys came in here. There's no way they wouldn't feel like they were leagues above us. Like, we are ants to them.
Even like a boss at a workplace is like our boss, I believe. But it's just normal. But I'm saying, like, yeah, even at that level, we're looked at as peasants, like, you're not worth my time feeling.
It seems like humans seem so easily corruptible when it comes to power.
There's just nothing you can do about it. So I remember when I have a personal experience with this. When I was 18 and I worked at Shears, just at the smallest level, I got promoted to operator, which means I was in charge of 6 people. Like, I had power over them. I told them when to do this, when to do that, how to do it, which they didn't like because I was a kid. But I felt like that. You feel like, ooh, haha, like I can tell you what to do. It's impossible not to. You get like an ego. Totally get an ego. And now imagine it exponentially multiplied by like 100,000 times. You're gonna, as a human being, as a male especially, you're gonna abuse that power. You're competing. Males compete. It's just natural. We as humans, we think we can escape our biology and our limbic system. If you ever want to know the truth about life, you have to know how we're programmed. You can't look past the bullshit that comes out of our mouth. You have to look inside at our biology and our history, our evolutionary psychology. I always tell you about it. Like, once you figure it out, you see through all the bullshit. Like we talked about this before. So you have guys that will flirt openly with women, and then you have the guy that just wants to be your friend. I'm the nice guy. You know the nice guy strategy?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you believed him at face value, you would think that, oh, that's a good guy. He just wants to, he's buying her flowers and he's treating her really well. He's a nice guy. He doesn't want to use her. He doesn't have sex with her.
But there's ulterior motives underneath there.
Every single time. You're a guy, that's a girl. You know what you want to do. Stop the bullshit. Get rid of your strategy. That's all you have to do is just, so like, I feel like As human beings, none of us are exempt from this life, this brain that we have. It's a fucking lizard brain. You can't escape it. You can't run a video game like a computer game at 160 frames per second at 4K with a 13-year-old computer that's shitty, with shitty hardware. You're not going to do it. It's impossible. You can't change who you are as a human being. It's impossible. You're just a human. You have desires and traits. Everybody wants what's best for themselves. Like, it's just how it is.
Right. It's just a natural instinct. Like, when you get hungry, you go eat. When you're thirsty, you drink water.
Yes.
It's just kind of part of that cycle of being a human being.
Mm-hmm. And the balance of chemicals. Everything you feel is a chemical. And people hate when I say that. Like, I'll tell that I've said that to people in the past, and they're like, no, it's not. Explain love then.
It's
okay. Oxytocin. No, it's more than that. It's something different. No, if you were void of oxytocin, you would not feel anything. You could not be capable of feeling love. It'd be trying to tell a colorblind person what the color red looks like. It's impossible. It doesn't happen. It's all chemicals.
I think it's curious how people try and
humanize, but in a different way.
Not even humanize. Explain away natural instinct like it's some amazingly special things that only humans can feel.
Yes, it's ego. That's full circle here. It's the ego. The human ego is so easy to get in the way. That's what causes all of our issues as human beings in general. That's why we're at war with other countries. That's why countries are at war with each other. That's why we have a fucking penis measuring contest all the fucking time. It's ego. That's all it is. Why we bomb other countries. My penis is bigger than yours. Mine is bigger than yours.
Look how big my military penis
Boom.
is.
Yeah. It's just ego. If we could get rid of that, this is why I believe, I'm going to go hippie on your ass, that everybody in power should trip their fucking ass off on mushrooms and be humbled. And they'll live with that forever and remember, oh yeah, I'm not shit. You can't escape that feeling. Once you do that, you realize
well,
it gets rid of the narcissism.
All right, a little devil's advocate here.
Go ahead.
Speaking of psilocybin, 2 instances where I think that could backfire. The first one, now this isn't true. I think we've talked about this very briefly before, but there's a theory floating around that religion was created due to the exposure of psilocybin.
Stoned ape theory.
Yeah, which led us to this path we're on right now.
Yeah.
Now, maybe it was just those people who were tripping fucking balls created this thing, and then these egotistical people who had never experienced that then ran with it, and now we're in this shit show that we are now. So that might be one. Like, maybe the exposure to the psilocybin could
change the brain chemistry.
Sure. And then the second one, there's a guy named Paul Stamets. You know Paul?
He's got the Amanita mushroom head.
Right. He's the mushroom guy.
I like that guy.
I saw this article. He owns a mushroom company, and it appears that he's been corrupted by the ego, the power, and the money as well, because he was treating his employees like shit.
I don't like that guy.
Shit. I liked him a lot when I first heard his podcast, and I liked the second episode too. And then I see this article, and I'm reading it, I'm like, okay, so this guy's going on about all this stuff and how he couldn't even pay his phone bill, and he would have to call to keep his fucking utilities on, and now he's become the thing that was hindering him to other people now, which is kind of the counter argument to psilocybin, because he's so for everyone to try. Not everybody. I think he's sure. I'll say fucking everybody for.
He does. I think he said that he wants everybody to do this.
Yeah, and that's what he wants. And then look at him being just the pure definition of a hypocrite here.
So I'll give you my devil's advocate to your devil's advocate. I'll Uno reverse you.
Oh shit.
So the first one you said was that's how religion was possibly created, was through that wasn't through psilocybin, it was through peyote. That's the theory, which is a completely different experience. But I'm not saying that I get what you're saying, but like you could go off the deep end potentially with shit. And I think that's what happened. I'll lead that into Paul Stamets. I think that's what happened with Paul Stamets. I think that there's a point of no return with psychedelics where you just fucked your brain. Like you can do them in moderation and get away with it completely harmlessly. Fine, you'll benefit from it, in my opinion. Not everybody. If you have like a tendency for, like I don't know, bipolarism, or you have a mental issue, like that could exemplify it, make it not exemplify. It could exponentially make it worse. So be careful if you have any sort of like bipolar disorder or borderline personality. But anyways, I think that Stamets took it to an extreme that it shouldn't be taken to, where he's said of experiences he had where he's tried poisonous mushrooms, where he's had like monster mega fucking nut doses. I mean, we're talking like 20-30 gram trips, which is absurd. You lose sense of reality at 4 grams. I can't imagine what he's done to himself.
He saw the Big Bang happen.
Fuck, he's more than that. He was the Big Bang. Like,
all right, this isn't
go
even
for
a
it.
counter argument. This is actually further backing kind of what you were saying about the human genes and human instincts. Maybe in the case of Paul Stamets, even though he's had these experiences with mushrooms and psychedelics, maybe the genes in the human to be powerful and that ego and those instincts are just so powerful that they override whatever he felt, because he's at a point where he is extremely successful, where he has power over people, he has money, he has all of the things that are the driving force of a huge ego. Maybe they're just so powerful that you just almost cannot overcome them, because
I don't think you can overcome them. I agree with you completely. I do not think that anybody can overcome them with anything unless they go completely off the deep end and go insane and lose all sense of reality. But I do think that you can nurture that side of you and tame it. With psychedelics can help. I think they can help. I don't think they're the cure-all. But I definitely think that you get to see a perspective that, okay, so say you were narcissistic or psychopath or whatever the fuck you are, or you had like an issue, or you were having a issue. Maybe you weren't a good father. Maybe you weren't just something, you know what I mean? You had an issue. I think that maybe you are unlocked. Okay, you unlock a new perspective that you don't have access to without the psychedelics. So with them, maybe you get a perspective that you can go back to when you're sober and remember how that felt. But you still have to battle with the other version of yourself. But now you see the other side of things. But it doesn't mean that your previous self's not going to win. You just have the feeling of, oh, I remember how this feels like. Maybe I should do this. Maybe this is how I should feel. I like this Lamborghini more. You have like a battle going on.
Like you can't override human biology.
Yeah. Which I've done psychedelics, and I could anecdotally say that's reality. Like that's true. That's what happens. To where you're not gonna fucking become Gandhi. Not that Gandhi was good anyway. He was a fucking, didn't he molest like a 15-year-old?
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't think Gandhi
Let's
was
not
a great dude.
allegedly. Let's not put anything. I'm pretty sure he did. Anyways, when I've done them, like I've had like issues where I felt like, okay, maybe I need to fix this about myself, and I did psychedelics and I got a perspective on it. It doesn't mean that I fixed it though. It just was a person. Oh, maybe I should do this, but maybe that demon won. Like, you know what I mean? You have the balance of two, and sometimes you lose. That's how it goes. That's my theory on that.
I've never done psychedelics, but
you have to
on that
fucking do it.
track.
You of all people, you need to try them because you are fascinated by this stuff, and you are a deep thinker, a critical thinker. Most people can be fairly surface level. So I think that you would have a very interesting take on them. You're experimental.
I'm very curious to try them. I think my biggest fear with it is
And what is your fear?
changing who I am now. Because I know a lot of people who try it and they're like, yeah, I became a completely different person. And my fear is like...
But usually in a good way, though.
I know, but to me, I'm like, I kind of like all this shit that I do right now. Like, what if I get out of it and I'm like, podcasting is kind of fucking stupid, or anime really isn't for me anymore.
My theory?
I'd be like, no.
I think you'll get something about anime. I think that because that happened to me. With psychedelics was part of it. Did I ever tell you that?
No.
So not only like part of the reason I stopped watching anime, I took mushroom chocolate bar. I had this mushroom chocolate bar and I ate it. And it wasn't a lot. It was maybe like 2.5 grams, which is like very mild, but you'll still definitely get the experience. And I was sitting in my bed. This is like 2 years ago, maybe a little longer now. And I remember thinking, like, dude, I waste like so much time. Like, what am I wasting my time on? I'm wasting my time on my phone. I'm wasting my time watching like anime. And then I had like this like coming to of like, dude, I'm watching like 2 hours of anime a day. For what? Like, it's not benefiting me. So I'm not saying it's bad. Like, don't stop watching anime. I'm just saying, like,
You're not helping the case.
No,
That's
but hear me out.
fear.
Like it. But I loved anime. I still have such an appreciation for the artwork, the storytelling. I think it's awesome. I think that there's nothing wrong with watching it. But I think that it's a waste of time, along with like YouTube or anything else. You're wasting your precious time that you have, which is fine. If you like it, like it. But for me, I started to feel anxiety from it, where I would watch it and then I'd feel like, dude, I just spent 2 hours doing this and I should have been doing something else. Like, fuck. So I would get frustrated personally. And I had that experience where I started to like get really down on myself because I'm sitting here watching a show about high schoolers have a fucking firework get together. And it was like, what am I doing with myself? I swear to God this happened. So I'm thinking, like, after that, like I kind of slowed down. Like, I didn't stop watching it, but I definitely slowed down on watching it. And then eventually it was just kind of like, I'm not enjoying this anymore. Like, I'm not getting anything out of it. So yeah, I think that's funny you brought that up. That's part of the reason I stopped watching anime.
I think the difference between me and you and me with it is it's kind of like a job for me at this point.
Yeah,
where
you enjoy it and you film videos.
I have a podcast about it. I do videos about it. It's pretty much like the sole reason I'm interested in Japan. So it's kind of like a job for me. So that could be the difference in perspectives that
I don't
we have
think
on
that
it.
it'll happen to you. I don't think you would say, but I think maybe you would think like you would look inward at what you're wasting your time on, and I think that that's one of the things that you would notice.
What if I'm like, nah, fuck the gym? That's a
No,
waste. That's
not a
vanity.
waste of time.
That's vanity.
No, it's healthy.
That would bother me.
It's healthy. Just think that you're protecting yourself from injuries in the future, even though the gym causes injuries. I mean, like, I think that you'll, when you're 40 or 50, you'll feel better than somebody that's not going to the gym.
I'm feeling better.
You'll feel weight with a stronger lower back. You'll look better. You'll feel better. You'll have discipline. Gym builds discipline. I think that the gym is a great thing.
I think the gym is also a great thing for, discipline is like the biggest thing with it.
So it builds discipline not only in that, but in every other aspect of your life, which I would consider you very disciplined. And I think that the gym plays a part in that. Don't stop going to the gym, fucker. It won't happen to you.
Dude, it's all about van. I'm going to go for some nice runs, get that runner's high.
I love cardio now. Did I tell you that? I run around my block 3 to 4 times a week.
That's good.
And it's very enjoyable.
Cardio,
I need cardio.
It is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I have a love-hate relationship with it where when I think about doing it, I'm like, oh, fuck, dude, I have to do cardio. But doing it
it's enjoyable.
And finishing it is such a dopamine hit.
Yeah. And I need to get in like better cardiovascular shape.
You and me both, buddy.
Yeah, like it's
shit.
I mean, yeah, that doesn't help, but also just not doing. You do cardio on a regular basis, don't you?
Yeah, but
which is you're
not as much as I should.
You need to get your VO2 max. That'll tell you how in shape you are. So if it's low, then you need to up that. It's just your how much oxygen, how efficient you're using oxygen.
When we went backpacking, well, I plan on quitting this. Like this, I think this is gonna be my last year with it.
Psychedelics will make you fucking do it.
I would like to just do it on me, like just cold turkey, but like fuck this shit, I don't need it. But when we went backpacking, I was telling myself, if I struggle with this and I'm out of breath going up these hills and inclines, I'm like, okay, that's a sign that I need to make a lifestyle change. If I can't walk through the woods with what I think was like 45, 50 pounds on my back, that's not that much weight. If I have a hard time with that, then this shit needs to go. I got to kick it. Because what if I'm always about how can I react in a certain situation? Like, am I physically capable of getting out of a situation where I need to?
What if you're hanging off a cliff? Could you pull yourself up?
Right. Or what if I need to run away from something? Yeah. Do I have the stamina to keep going? And this is this does not help with that. In fact, it just makes it so much worse.
100%. Yeah, if you quit that, that's awesome. That's difficult. But yeah, I like that. I was thinking about this today at work and yesterday for some reason. It's been on my mind a lot. How there's people that just kind of, I'm not saying that we're better than them in any way, but there's people that go through life and never have these thoughts. Like, they just go home, they drink their beer, and they eat McDonald's and they look like shit and they feel like shit and they just never ask themselves why. They don't ask, how can I stop this? Can I improve my height? Like, how can I improve? I'm so happy that I have a mindset where I'm at least worried about being better. Whether or not I achieve it or not, like, it's constantly on my mind. Like, what can I do to be better? What supplement can I take? What workout can I do? What can I stop eating? What can I start eating? Can I get blood work? What hormones can I optimize? And you do the same thing. Can I go to the gym? I should stop vaping. I should do more cardio. I should eat this. Like, I don't understand how there's people that mindlessly robot through life. I know I call you a robot, and you are, but it's a different kind of robot. Like, these people are just, they don't, how you're so miserable, you're so sore, you're inflamed, you look like shit, you feel like shit, you have health problems. You don't stop to think, man, I should put this fucking beer down. Damn, I shouldn't get 2 fucking Big Macs after work today.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people say, when talking about aging, that's something that I have a lot of anxiety about, is like aging.
Oh yeah, I fucking hate thinking about that.
It sucks. I don't like thinking about how old I am. I don't like thinking about the next year, my next birthday, any of that stuff.
It's just going to get worse.
It does.
Physically.
But I've seen a lot of people say that, like, yeah, 25, when you get up, you just hurt now. And when I get up, I don't hurt. So it makes me think, what the fuck are you doing, or what aren't you doing that makes you hurt when you get up in the morning? That shouldn't be a thing. Your body was just resting.
Just look around.
Might
look
be
at
a
people.
little stiff, but that's about all you should be.
You just gotta look at, like, it's. I get it, but, like, man, it's so obvious. Like, you just fucking, like, just people that we work with, or people you see out on the street with, like, a Mountain Dew in their hand, a bag of chips, and they're 20 and they have a beer belly or they have a gut. Like, they're skinny fat or something. Like, come on, like, please. I know you're young, but man, at that age, this is when it's time to. You can stop it now instead of getting to the point where it's too late or it takes forever to reverse.
Right. I think a lot of people get way too comfortable with where they're at. Like, say you get in a relationship, you've been with that person for 4 or 5 years, and at that point, it's just, well, like, this is who you are.
Mundane routine.
And you don't see a reason, because a lot of people think getting in shape or being healthier is, its sole purpose is to, like, attract the opposite sex,
which is totally part of it.
Yeah, that's 100% a part of it, but it's not the whole pie. That's it.
Right.
That's a little slice of our pie. The rest of it is you being physically healthy and not waking up in pain, not being out of breath when you take a walk down the stairs. You know, that shouldn't be something that's happening to you at such a young age.
Yep. And building discipline.
Yeah, 100%. I think
doing what you say you're going to do.
Yeah, you need to have some sort of discipline in you.
I think that's a big problem, is that we lack discipline, our age group especially. We just don't have drive.
It's so important to push yourself out of your comfort zone. It sucks. It really does.
And I've been there. Like, you know damn well, like, I've not worked out. I've not done shit but just fucking sat in my bed all day and got anxiety about it and didn't do anything about it for a long time.
The difference with you is, say, you know, I mean, you've kind of chalked it up to this hilly battle of gym, no gym, gym, no gym. But you get back on the horse and you keep going with it. Whether or not you fail, you go, okay, well, I haven't gone to the gym in like 2 months. I'm going to start going for a while. And then you go and you build up that consistency, and you might fall off. But you get back up on the horse and you go and build that consistency again. That is discipline right there. That is the sheer definition.
I'm working on it. But even in the times that I'm not going to the gym, the whole time I'm calling myself a scumbag because I'm not going to the gym. Like, I'm very upset with myself about it. Like, it's not like I'm fine with it. Like, I'm thinking, like, fuck, dude, just get up and do it. So in those time periods, I'm still worrying. I'm still getting, like, I'm amping myself up, and eventually I'm like, oh, fuck it, let's go do it.
You reach like a boiling point.
Mm-hmm. It's a boiling point, yeah. It builds and builds and builds, and I'm like, fuck.
And some people don't have that boiling point,
which is insane.
The pot gets bigger and bigger,
and it never just stops
as time goes on, and the water keeps boiling up and up, but the pot grows along with it, so it never boils over into actually taking actions and making a change.
And the reason that I'm so, like, frustrated about this is not because I think that these people are lesser or stupid or whatever. I want them to be better, because this is like our family, our friends, and things like that. Like, these are people we care about. Like, I don't want these people to have health problems when they're 35 or 40. I want healthy, happy, because if you are unhealthy, you're probably not very happy. and you're just not gonna have a good life.
Right. No one's happy waking up feeling like shit.
Mm. And when you're rolling out of bed and you gotta wait 20 minutes before you stand up, like, do something about it, please. And it's, I think something that flies under the radar is internal inflammation from eating bad foods. I think that's very underrated and not talked about. Like when you have high fructose corn syrup or seed oils, it causes inflammation in the organs in the body, the joints, the muscles, all these things. And over time that wears you out and causes issues. And even in the moment, like, after you eat like 20 pounds of Cane's chicken or whatever, feel like shit. But that becomes a permanent feeling. That's your body being inflamed and saying, fuck, dude, like, what are we going to do with all this sodium? What are we going to do with all this? That's water retention. That's inflammation. Like, I think that's very underrated. And I think that's a big reason why people feel crappy is because they're so inflamed and they don't even realize it. Like, everything is buzzing. Like, fuck, dude, stop doing this. And I think it'll help people so much. Lack of water. It's just, I don't know.
One cool thing I have kind of noticed over the past couple of years is people are drinking a lot. What seemed to me is like people are drinking a lot more water.
They're more aware, I think, now.
Yeah.
Of like, I need water.
Like when I was a teenager or in middle school, every night or every weekend I'd go to my friend's house and we'd play Call of Duty all weekend. But we would get, like on a Friday night, we would each get 2 Polar Pops, which are 32 ounces
I'm in the same boat.
of energy drinks. And that was the norm. So we have 64 ounces of energy drinks we would each drink in that one night.
And I felt great doing it.
Now, honestly, like none of my friends drink soda. It's very rare for them to drink soda. A lot of
Do you think that's just an aging thing, though?
It could be.
Because I see, like, when I go to the gas station, you see kids with them.
I still see a lot of people who drink soda.
Yeah, I think it became more trendy to drink water, too.
Which is really
amongst
good.
The youth.
That's a trend that I can totally get behind. And they're just drinking better things. But one thing that I do it a lot myself. I love zero sugar things. I'm just curious what is going in there aside from sugar to keep that sweetness, to keep people kind of hooked on it.
Stuff that causes internal inflammation and addiction.
Right.
Sucralose.
Not great stuff. It's like the trend. There was a trend a long time ago of like no saturated fat. But there was still a lot of bad fats in the food, so people would flock to this.
I think it was trans fats.
Yeah, zero trans fat, but there's saturated fat in the fucking foods, and that's worse for you than the trans fats.
Mm-hmm. But the trend was no trans fat was like the big deal.
Yeah, so
or gluten free now.
That seems like what's happening with the zero sugar thing. It's like, oh, this doesn't have sugar, but it has a lot of other additives in there that are still going to fuck you up, but at least it's not sugar, right?
Yep. So a lot of these additives that you're talking about, like etheridol, what does that one have in it?
Jesus Christ, who knows?
It'll say it on the where it says sugar, where you would usually see that. Sucralose or?
Yep, etheridol, 2 grams.
Etheridol is, that's not a good one. I'll read what it does. So this is another, I see what you're saying. Like, but I do think it's better than high fructose corn syrup. I think that, okay, it's the lesser of the two evils, but if I was going to choose one or the other, that all day. Even though it's not good, you're much better off with that.
I love how I'm talking about this shit as I'm drinking a Monster.
I was on the way here drinking energy.
God, I'm such a hypocrite.
We're not perfect, but we're aware of it, and we implement healthy things into our life in place of others sometimes. Like, we're not nearly as bad as we could be. Although my junk food, we gotta curb our junk food habits. Like my cookie problem. I got a cookie problem.
I got a cookie problem too. I had 5 today, dude.
I had 4. Yeah, you had you fat fuck.
5 cookies.
Holy crap. The ones at work? Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
But okay, this was like, we don't get that often, so I'll let you pass.
I don't know. Me and cookies, we go hand in hand.
I love chocolate chip cookies.
The best fucking cookie.
Fuck. So this is the problem with etheridol. Not only is it dangerous to the cardiovascular system, but I didn't know this until just now. It impairs your insulin sensitivity, and increased insulin resistance causes food cravings, which is associated with weight gain. So when you consume etheridol, it makes you want more food and more things.
So when you think you're making the health conscious decision of drinking something with zero sugar that has etheridol in it, your mind is saying, okay, we did this, but we want a sugary cookie. We want a brownie.
Mm-hmm. You're creating the same pathway that sugar would cause, an addictive pathway of I need this, I need more. So, but it's not the benefit of additive like that is that the added sugar or the high fructose corn syrup will cause fat stores. Like it'll make you fatter. This won't. And I don't want to be fat.
So, if you're drinking this, hopefully you have the discipline to say no to that cookie or brownie. Then it's
pretty hard.
It is very hard, especially if you have access to them.
Yeah. Like, we're not perfect at all. Just let's get out of the way. We are far from perfect as far as our food habits go, but we're not nearly as bad as we could be. We have to keep that in mind. Whenever we feel like shit about ourselves, remember how much worse that it could be. You know what I mean?
Like, if I'm out and about, chances are I'm not going to buy any sweet or sugary things. My issue comes when they're already in the house and I can just walk to the pantry and get it.
Yep.
If I go to like McDonald's or Taco Bell, I'm not usually getting like a chocolate shake or a cookie they have for sale. I don't usually get that shit. It's in the house that's my problem.
Same here, dude. I get in that cabinet in the morning and I start going.
You chop 5 cookies on the way to work.
Yeah, I'm a cookie monster. Ooh, me wants a cookie. As soon as I open the cabinet, I can't stop. But today, after our pizza and cookies, I was healthy though. I had a steak, which nobody can tell me that red meat's bad for me. Fuck off. I don't care. Cholesterol's not fucking bad for you, pissers. But I had steak, 2 English muffins, which are good for you. And then I on the way here, or before I came here, I had a salad with rice vinegar and extra virgin olive oil. So I made up for it. And I feel good. I eat blueberries now every day. Like I eat natural grass-fed steak, and I feel so much better. Supplements that work for me, food that works for me, lifting, cardio. I just feel better. Like I truly, honestly do. For the last 4 or 5 months, just cutting out things, whether that was supplements or food or workouts that were causing me injury, something like that. I just feel better. This is what it's like to feel good, and I like it. I don't want to stop. I want to continue to feel better. And as I'm getting older, but I'm feeling better. And most people are getting older and they're feeling worse. And so I'm satisfied with that.
That's one thing I really miss about being on prep. So the first 4 weeks of prep aren't bad. The first 6 weeks of prep really aren't that bad because you're eating a good amount of food, but it's all very healthy, clean food.
I was thinking about that today.
The bad shit only comes in the end when you're cutting calories. But those first 6 weeks, I'm like, I feel like $1 million fucking bucks.
And then comes the evil.
Yeah, then comes the starvation.
But that's not because you're eating bad food or doing something.
It's just because you're not eating enough.
Yeah, which is normal. When you don't have carbs, you're gonna feel like crap.
Yeah, and you're also tacking on
everything in your body.
And cardio.
Yep, your body's degrading. But yeah, I was watching a video about that today. How bodybuilders what they do to make their veins pop like crazy before a show, where they drink 2 gallons of water 5 days leading up to the show. They drink 2 gallons of water. Tell me if it's true because you did this. They drink 2 gallons of water every day, and then a day before the show, they taper their water to where they're barely drinking any, and they're not eating anything. And then right before the show, they have a bunch of salt and something that's real sugary and sweet. So you're dried out, and then you have something that goes right to your vascular system and makes them all pop.
Yeah.
Oh, that was interesting.
I remember I would bring my gallon to work, and I would finish the first gallon around first break, and I was constantly running to the bathroom just because your body is saying, hey, you're getting a lot of water. We don't need this, so you're pissing constantly.
Yep.
And then, the day of the show, the coach would text me yep. He's like, you can drink 8 ounces of water, but that's about it. And then I was eating. Some people carb load. I guess it just depends. You can or you cannot carb load. It just depends on whatever your coach tells you. But yeah, that's pretty spot on. You take in a fuck ton of water leading up to it, and then you get rid of the water.
That's interesting. Did it make your veins pop? Did you feel really full or vascular? Do you feel? I'm curious. Do you feel because you're cutting and you're so much lighter and you're not eating or drinking? Do you feel small? What's the mental aspect of that?
I think being diced and cut up kind of compensates for the lack of size, because when you can see muscle striations and veins in places you didn't know you had them,
Very satisfying.
You feel pretty good. I remember after my last show, we finished the show. My sister got me some like candy or something, so I ate that, and then we went out to eat. I ate, and then I went home, and I was the first one home, so I took a shower, washed off like the tan and shit. I looked in the mirror, and there were so many veins.
That's awesome.
Like going across my chest, my fucking shoulders. I'm like, I look fucking great. That's also because like I was in a hot ass shower with steam and losing water.
Still there though.
But I was like, damn, dude.
You got like ab veins and stuff?
Yeah, I had
want
the
those so
fuck
fucking
boy
bad,
vein
dude. I want them so
on like
fucking bad.
the right under the obliques.
I got 2 veins right here, but only when I'm hot. If I'm like chilling like this, I hate it. I fucking can't see it. But as soon as I get warm, I start to get ab veins.
You drop some fat, hop in the
know.
sauna.
It's so
or
hard
hop
to
in the
drop
shower,
fat.
hop out.
Well, especially when you're skinny, it's hard to drop fat because there's not a lot on you, but there's still fat. But I feel like I'm gonna turn into like an Auschwitz survivor if I drop fat. I don't want to cut. I hate cutting, but if I'm always bulking, I'm still gaining fat. Like I have to. It's such a fucking bittersweet thing.
Yeah, bodybuilding's not a healthy sport. Everyone would always be like, wow, you eat so healthy. I remember my aunt had a wedding, and we drove down to Virginia. Obviously, I couldn't eat what everyone else was, so dinner time came around. I went out, got my meal from my car, and they're like, you eat so healthy, that's great. I'm like, yeah, no, it's not. I'm not being healthy with this.
And I have body dysmorphia.
Yeah, so like, no.
Yeah. Yeah, but if people believe it, then good. Let them.
Yeah, sure. Until nobody wants to get involved with that shit.
No. But yeah, I don't know. I just do feel better. I think like I cut out like fish oil and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it just didn't work for me.
Flaxseed oil. Just say
I never did that. It's probably a good idea. But yeah, I'm happy with my supplementation. You had any supplements?
I'm on 5 right now.
How's your saw palmetto going? How long have you been taking it?
It's been maybe a month, so not enough to really see results.
Yeah, I wonder what the timeline is for that.
I see people say like 6 months is when you might start noticing.
That's what finasteride is. 6 months
It's
to a
supposed
year.
to be like a finasteride, well, quite literally, it's finasteride supplement because it doesn't come with the sides of fin.
What was that thing I sent you that told you slowed DHT recently?
I don't even fucking remember.
It was something that was healthy, but really like it's helped a lot. I forget. But I know like the ketoconazole shampoo, stuff like that does.
Oh,
but
yeah, it was something with shampoo.
I stopped taking finasteride. I told you that.
Yeah.
But doing more research about DHT, I've been on a DHT kick now for like a week. Man, DHT is so important. Like having a lot of it is so important. You do not want to cut your DHT. I know it sucks because it most likely causes your hair follicles to shrink and fall out. But it fucking destroys you if you don't have it. It ruins your libido, which is, okay, we all know that. But it can cause moodiness, depression, anxiety. It's just drive in general. It's just so bad to cut your DHT production, which I did not know that. I did not realize this until recently. When I came across a study, I was like, oh, I'll read this. And it brought up those things. So then I started looking more into it. And it's like, oh, that's extremely important for your male hormone production.
It sucks. It's such a double-edged
fucking
sword.
know, dude. But I've come to the conclusion I'd rather go bald than be miserable and not be able to have sex. Like, I'm just be honest. Like, I don't want to have to deal with that.
Right, because what's the point of having hair? If
you want to look good.
Yeah, you want to look good, but if you can't fucking perform.
You can't do anything with it. You know what I mean? Like, it just, it's not worth it to me. Like, okay, so from now on, I'll use what I can to keep my hair, but if I can't, I can't.
Well, if it doesn't even run in your family, you really have like nothing to worry about.
It does and it doesn't. Like, my mom has thin hair. My grandpa still has some hair. You've seen my grandpa. But my dad, I don't know. As far as I know.
People say it's based on like what your uncle's hair is like.
So, like, I mean, they have hair, but they have recession. Like your typical, like, temple recession. Fuck. I want my hair. I don't know. But I don't want to ruin my DHT production. It's so important and it's so underrated. I think people think that DHT is only to stop your hair from falling out, but you need DHT like you need testosterone or anything else in your body. So I don't want to cut that off. Because, okay, I remember I told you I didn't have side effects, like, with finasteride, really. Like, I really didn't feel side effects. Like, and I was being honest, like, I didn't feel like I had side effects, if you asked me then. Now that I stopped taking it, I feel better. Like, within 2 weeks of stopping taking it, I started to feel a little bit better. And that was before I was really being as healthy as I could be. But I never, for some reason, chalked it up to finasteride. But looking back on it, like, coincidence that it happened at that same time where I started to feel a little more like, I don't know, like I had more jive. Like I was a little more lively, I guess.
You know what I think would be a really kind of beneficial thing to do? So say you hop on a new supplement, take that for a month, and then every day you're on it, make like a journal entry type deal on how you feel, what your mood's like that day.
That's a great idea.
Symptoms you might have that day or something, and then hop off it and do more journal entries and log how you feel, and then go back through those entries to see how that supplement affected you. That's just a good case study on yourself to see if that is actually benefiting you.
Because people can create a false narrative looking back in the past. Like, maybe I did feel better. Maybe.
It's so hard to recount how I fucking felt on May 2nd, 2024.
But if it's in writing, that's very beneficial. I'm going to start this. It's a fucking great idea. Actually, I'm going to start doing this.
I might fucking do that. I mean, it would take a while.
But yeah.
I'm on 5 supplements, but.
Or like, if I ate maybe something like you have a food intolerance, don't even realize it. Like, okay, I had eggs today and I felt a little crappy. Oh, I had eggs 3 days later and I still felt a little crappy. Like, then you can say like, oh, well, maybe I should cut out X food. Because people have intolerances and won't even realize.
Or you could just be eating, you're just eating so much different shit. You're like, well, what even could be causing this? Yeah.
So what similarities did I have on all these days? Did I have anything that I can point out? Like, oh, I had this and this the same day. Like, and I felt like crap. Let's try not having that. Oh, I feel better. Like, maybe it was that. Let's run that experiment again. Like, I know that takes time and effort, but imagine how beneficial that could be.
Yeah, in the long run, it's totally worth it.
I got a food. I tell you, I got a food sensitivity test kit. I got a food sensitivity test kit that tests for like 250 different things, and it tells you what your body agrees with, disagrees with, and really shouldn't have. Like, there's like green, yellow, and red. I haven't gotten the results back yet, but I had to prick my finger. I fucking hate pricking my finger. And I had to drop blood onto 5 like little panels and send it in from Everywell as a company. Not sponsored.
What do you do to prick your finger?
They send you lancets. What do they call them? Yeah, you just you take them and you just press down. And
it's kind of like a type 1 diabetes thing.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, you just drop the blood on it, send it in, and I'm waiting on those results. But I'm very fascinated to see what they are.
I'm very curious.
And I think that will help me a lot. Potentially with what my body agrees and disagrees with, because I just want to optimize my health, and why not do it when I'm young and I have the resources and time? So we'll see. But yeah, and then I got my blood work done. I'm waiting on those results. Let's see if they pull a U on me.
Yeah, will they?
I'll kill myself.
I got to check if the other test came back. I haven't checked in a while.
Oh, your Lyme disease?
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
I mean, I just figure if they hadn't like called me or said anything, then it's negative. But
yeah,
like, come on, just
still, yeah. You should check your SHGB here in the upcoming few months when things do whatever with your thingy. I would check your SHGB, your sex hormone binding globulin, because that lowers and raises, and that's important too. And that's cheap. Like, I'll show you that thing that's awesome. You can just order that. You live like 2 minutes away from LabCorp.
I can walk to a Walgreens.
Literally. So, and it takes 5 minutes and you're in and out. And they're really good at it. And well, did I tell you what happened though?
They missed the fucking vein?
No, they didn't miss the vein. I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. She was new. I don't know how you don't know this. It's a vacuum seal when they put the tube in. Yeah. That's what causes the pressure. She didn't know that she had to pull back on the tube. Like in a syringe, you have to pull back to release the liquid or pull it in. she didn't understand that, so it wasn't filling. So she was like shaking it around. I don't even want to think about it. I can't even like say it or think about it now. Why did I say that? Whew.
Last week when I was in Columbus,
I got pale as a
we
ghost.
were just
dude.
watching some videos. And
Yeah.
Matt was like, let's watch a video on everyone's fears. And my friend Kyle has a fear. It's called a submechanophobia, like submerged or half submerged animatronics. He's like, fucks with me so bad, or giant animatronics. And then Matt was like, Anthony, what's your fear? I'm like, I don't have any fears. And he's like, I know one. And so he started watching, I don't know the official name for drawing blood, but people getting fucking needles shoved in their arms and getting blood drawn. I'm like, dude, please turn this off. It's making me so uncomfortable.
Because they're in your vein.
I hate that so
I don't care
much.
if it's in my muscle. It's
Right.
different.
Everyone thinks, like, just because I hate this, they're like, oh, how do you have tattoos? You hate needles.
Totally
like, I
different.
don't hate needles.
No.
I hate the thought of a needle going into my vein.
It's part of the reason for me, okay, for me at least, part of the reason I don't like it is because I imagine the vein is very smooth on the inside. And maybe you haven't even thought about this.
Yeah.
So why are you, you know what I mean? Like, that's part of the reason that freaks me out. It's like, that shouldn't be in there.
No, it should not. There's no business being in there.
All right. Nice phones we have here. Let's change the topic.
Okay, one thing I wanted to bring up I saw today. Very interesting.
What happened?
I saw a chart. Now, take this with
Charizard?
No, not Charizard.
damn it.
A chart.
Damn it.
Take this with a grain of salt. Of course, we know casualties in war, the numbers can be all over the place. We won't know the real numbers until years later, if ever. This was a chart showing the just Russian casualties, that is, wounded or killed, just taken out of the war, who can no longer participate. Try and guess what that number was. So the war's
Russian
been going
casualties?
on. Yeah, just Russian. This war's been going on since 2022. It is 2024. So
That's a hard one to guess. How many troops have been about deployed?
a lot.
All right. Fuck, that's a hard one. I'll say like 5,000, 4,000.
You think 4,000 casualties?
I don't know.
501,000 casualties.
Russian?
Just on the Russian side. With the
God
Ukrainians
damn. Has to be
either
more.
more or slightly behind, we're
It'd have to be
probably
more.
looking at over 1 million casualties just in this war.
That's insane.
That is fucking bonkers. And
I
in
feel like a
month,
retard for guessing
the
5.
month of May for 2024 was the deadliest month for Russians.
So if you're Vladimir Putin, at what point are you? How many military? There's not that many people in their military. I mean, they have a lot, but not like enough to lose 500,000 people. See the size of the military. They have like millions, but it's
yeah, they're also hiring people outside of Russia,
yeah.
or they're taking people because Russia's fucking enormous. They could be taking people from villages that are just very isolated.
They have 1.3 million in the active military. But
So they're bringing in a lot of
yeah.
people from outside the Russian military, it seems. Like, I know Chechens, a lot of Chechens.
Still though,
What is it, Belarus?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a lot of fucking people. So we're probably over 1 million casualties
Easy.
in this war.
but it's like never. You wouldn't even think that though. Like just you'd think like, oh, maybe like I don't know, 20,000 maybe, and that's a lot in my head.
Right. Someone posted a comment. I don't know if this is exactly true, but I think this is the largest war since World War II.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And
I don't picture this at all. Like,
I don't either.
This doesn't register to
I
my
think
head.
May was so bad because Ukrainians got access to a lot more munitions, so they don't have to worry about their ammo. They can just shell the fuck out of whatever they want. And the Russians, seeing this, they had an assault on, what is it, Kharkov, and with Ukrainians shelling more and a large assault, that's not a great combination for saving lives.
No. So now if you're Poland or you're bordering Ukraine and you're worried about Russia coming to your town, I would feel very optimistic about Russia coming over here and trying to fuck with me now. Because, like, they've embarrassed themselves in Ukraine, in my opinion. Their military is weakened. Their soldiers are being killed. They're not in a good place mentally. Their morale's probably not high. How is Putin a threat outside of nuclear weapons?
I don't think there's no way he can be. And
No.
on top of that, a lot of European countries now, including the U.S., because originally with the like missiles and all the munitions we sent over, the rule was we could not, or the Ukrainians couldn't use those munitions to attack Russian soil. Like, you can use them to defend yourself, but you cannot use those to attack per se. But now the coin is flipped, where they're allowing Ukrainians to use these munitions to attack Russian soil. So it's really just getting worse for Russia as time goes on. And the F-16s, pilots are being trained. I saw a video of Zelensky's airplane being escorted by multiple Ukrainian F-16s.
That's hard.
So that is cool.
I don't like Zelensky, though.
I love F-16s.
I never liked Zelensky. F-16s are sweet.
And France has talked about sending troops over to Ukraine. You know,
when does Putin like?
This is really. I'm thinking about this in terms of World War II. So the first 2 years of World War II, from 1939 to 1941, a lot happened,
but it was fairly stagnant.
Yeah,
compared
you
to
say like Europe wasn't being invaded by the Allies. Most of the fighting was taking place in South Africa or North Africa, and over in the east on the Russian side, like Italy, Greece, those areas, and the UK, but nothing was really pushing in on Europe. And then the war really started to amp up in 1944 when the Allies invaded Normandy.
Mm-hmm.
So the first 2 years are chill, air quotes. So maybe that's what's happening here. The first 2 years where things are relative. I'm saying lax in the terms of a war with 500,000 casualties just doesn't make sense. But
in the terms of what it could be,
sure,
it is.
Things are relatively lax here, and maybe now we're seeing a point where shit's gonna get crazy.
Something has to either pop off or ceasefire. You don't have a middle ground anymore.
Yeah, you just can't see a ceasefire because Ukraine's.
I don't either.
They're not gonna say, "Hey, yeah, you guys can keep whatever you have. We'll just call it here." They're not gonna do that, and Russia's not gonna give and say, "Well, you can have back the land we took." I don't see a fucking out here.
Outside of nuclear weapons, like what can they do? What can Russia do?
It's either like the complete fall of Ukraine or the complete fall of Russia.
And then that's when we have to talk about nuclear weapons, because Putin has explicitly said that if Russia's nation is in jeopardy, that's when he would use.
He's used the nuclear threat a lot, and I know a lot of people are like, that's the sheep, the boy cries wolf, whatever. But nuclear weapons are something to really fuck around with.
And I truly feel that in the face of Russia's demise, that he would use them.
Yeah, and we talked about this last week of someone who wants to go down in the history books. If you're not going to do it for being a great leader, you're probably going to do it for being a fucking psychotic.
Yeah. And imagine what he would feel, what he feels thinking to himself, that if he dies and Russia goes down and there's the fall of Russia, like he's the one that caused it. That's got to be the most humiliating thing to him, because he loves his country. I will give him that. He was raised, he eats, breathes, and sleeps his country from a child, from like 8 years old. The embarrassment of that, I think, is the worst thing that could happen to him. So 100% he would use nuclear weapons to stop that from happening. 100%. Now, whether the people that he assigns to use the nuclear weapons listen or not, that's a different story. I wonder.
I don't know. A part of me thinks they have to be some sort of brainwashed, not even brainwashed, just as patriotic as him, and think, look, my country is fucking falling.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
At
I'm
that
gonna
point,
do what
yeah.
I can to save my country.
I think circumstantially, if it was like, oh, like right now, hey, let's nuclear bomb Ukraine, they'd be like, let's think about this one. But I think if it was in the face of their country falling, yeah. So that's totally not out of the question. And he could let off every fucking thing he has in his arsenal.
Right.
And why not? Your self-destruct mode. Why not? Take out, what do they call that in Pokemon? Earthquake? That's a move where,
Oh,
you know,
I don't
Earthquake
follow Pokemon.
kills the opponent, but it kills you too.
So it's just mutually assured destruction.
Yeah. So at that point, yeah. That's not out of the question.
We might have to wait 2 years, 3 years to see where it goes. But
Something.
it's going somewhere,
Go
and
somewhere.
I don't know. I'm genuinely curious on how this ends.
I'm curious, but I really don't want to find out.
Unfortunately, the clock is ticking.
Yeah, it doesn't
Something's
end
gonna
well.
happen.
We'll see. I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. What are we going to do? Call Putin and be like, hey, dude.
Right?
Like, guys, stop.
Hey, dude, just call it
Like,
off.
this isn't cash money of you, Vladimir.
This
like-
isn't very cash money.
Could you, like, Just chill out a little bit, you know? But we'll see. I don't
Can
know.
you imagine seeing the fall of
The world?
Russia? Well, let's just
Fucking
We'll-
nuclear. Okay, we'll go
we'll
with
get that
Russia first.
doomsday
Yeah,
yet.
yeah.
the fall of Russia in our lifetime. Like, imagine what people in the 80s were thinking. Say they grew up in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s with the Soviet Union being a constant looming threat.
The
like
USSR.
the big dog. And then when the Soviet Union fell, that must have been fucking shocking.
Yeah, like, that's never going to happen. And,
And
then
we grew up with, like, Russia being
Mhm.
a threat. Like, Russia,
Russia,
is
China,
the
and
thing.
America.
Imagine Russia falling. That'd be absolutely wild.
I'm moving a lot today. Caffeine, dude.
Got that caffeine in there.
You know what I find fascinating too is even when we were children, like we were 5 or 6 years old, China was not nearly as big of a threat as it is now. Like, they were not looked at. They were a superpower, but they were not seen as dangerous by far. Like, they weren't even close to being as dangerous as they are now. So even when we were alive, like, so it's similar, like, but in the opposite direction, I guess, to where the USSR existed, then it didn't exist. Well, now China was seen as like, oh, it's no problem.
Mhm.
And now it's a massive problem that's growing out of control. So that's just going to get worse. So that makes me, I think China makes me more nervous than Russia does. Especially with their willingness to, I think, invade Taiwan. I think they'll do that. It's a matter of time. That time bomb's ticking.
Yeah, that is ticking too.
But they need the United States. I don't understand how this works.
Right, like we rely on China and China relies on us.
And they're
It's
doing
very-
bad right now, just like we are, but
it's-
worse.
It's very weird.
It's so odd. Yeah, like, how does that work? Like, you can't invade Taiwan because then you lose the business of America. So I think this is my theory. I don't think this happens soon, but I think that remember, like we talked about BRICS,
Yeah.
the internet, that currency, and that affiliation, Brazil, China, all them, India. I wonder if their strategy is to weaken America through the dollar, become the ruling currency, and then shit out America after they destroy us financially,
Like kind of
which is currently happening.
weighing off reliance
Yeah.
from the U.S.
Just so everyone's aware, it's currently happening, and people are just, we're doing great. No, we're not. We're not doing good. Shit's bad. Price of housing, food, inflation, everything. It's not going good. It's not going to get better. I looked up today, the median house price in 2017 was $181,000. Guess what the median house price in 2024 is?
What is it?
$433,000.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
How much have wages gone up since then?
I'm not sure, but if I had to guess,
Probably not enough to compensate.
5 to 10%, yeah. And the new minimum, okay, so another thing that I find fascinating, minimum wage doesn't exist anymore in the same way that it did 5 years ago. Like, nobody's making $9 an hour.
Yeah, that's. I don't really. Yeah, like almost nobody is, or at least not that I know.
I don't know a single person, I don't know a single place starting at $9 an hour. Minimum wage is still officially like $9.10 or something like that. But that's not nobody will work for you. And these corporations and companies know this. and everywhere you look is starting out at a minimum like 12, 13 minimum. So what I'm saying is that our wages are now way closer to minimum wage, causing us to have a worse quality of life, because now we're making a few dollars. You know what I mean? We're not far off. So that's just a fun, like McDonald's is $14, $15 an hour.
Yeah, I saw Sheets today was like $15.50.
Yep. I once in a while will see like on Facebook, people asking like, does anybody know of any jobs hiring, blah, 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 blah. And I'll read the comments out of fascination, just curiosity. And there'll be like a random woman in there saying, hey, come work at Cracker Barrel. I make $22 an hour on average after tips. I was like, oh, I worked for 6 years.
Yep.
I got certified.
Yep.
I'm skilled labor. I'm running machinery, and thanks. I can go work at Cracker Barrel and be better off. You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, that's nice. So it's starting to piss me off, dude. It's just, but how do these companies can't compete though at the same time? Like, our job can't go and pay us $40 an hour because they have to fill their pockets first.
That's where the problem lies.
The system is
the
fucked.
people at the top line their pockets first. For lack of a better term, it's trickle-down economics. Everyone's gonna see the profits. No, it's these people line their pockets first, and then they raise the price, and then they get more, and you stay the same. So they're growing, prices are increasing, but you're staying exactly where you're at.
Yeah, we're in a very bad spot. How are we going to afford to survive in 5 years? It's not going to get better. It's going to get worse, and it's already to a point where we can't afford to survive.
I saw this commercial. No, I got an ad for Chili's the other day. It was like $11.99 for a full entree, a drink, and like an appetizer, right? $12. If you go to McDonald's and get a fucking like meal, it's like $13 or $14. How has fast food gotten more expensive than a sit-down restaurant?
I have no idea. So I used to use DoorDash a lot. I currently am not, thank God. It's a waste of money. I could get a restaurant cheeseburger and fries with tip, delivery fee, all that shit, taxes, whatever the fuck they throw in there, for $16.50 to my door. Didn't have to go anywhere, and I got restaurant food. Like you're saying, I'll go to McDonald's or Cane's, Pan Express, Chick-fil-A, anywhere, and I'm not getting out of there spending less than $11, $12.
That's fucking ridiculous, and it's shit
at no
ass
point.
food.
Yep. 2 grilled chicken sandwiches at Chick-fil-A, which I get maybe once or twice a week. You want to guess how much 2 grilled chicken sandwiches are?
Is it over $10?
Oh yeah, $14.
God damn.
Yes, for 2 grilled chicken sandwiches. That's bread, a piece of grilled chicken, tomato, and lettuce.
I bought a protein drink today from Sheets. $5.79 for a 12 ounce.
What the fuck is going
drink.
on? What is going on? The inflation is not pacing at this rate.
That isn't inflation.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not even close.
That is pure
greed.
Yeah, that's pure greed.
And then people blame the presidency for this, the administration. I'm sorry, but it's not. As much as I dislike them, it's not. It's private corporations. They don't really have control over it. There should be laws in place to stop it, but there's not.
That's where we're at. That's, the direction is not looking good.
Nope. Food prices have increased 40-something, in the 40% range. They've inflated 40-something% over the last 3 or 4 years.
That's fucking crazy.
That's
a
absurd.
lot of money.
Absurd. Like, we can't afford to pay $1,200 for rent plus utilities, and now on top of that we have to pay $600 a month for groceries for one person.
Yeah, you got to put gas in your car too.
You got to put gas in your car.
You got to pay for insurance, which are going up.
Taxes, your phone bills, your Wi-Fi, clothes.
Shit is, I was telling when we were doing the other podcast, Luke he got some new shirts, and I'm like, oh, those are fucking cool. And I thought to myself, when's the last time I bought a shirt for myself? It's been over a year since I have bought a shirt for myself.
You gotta get some shirts, dude. You gotta get on the next level of shirt wave.
I do.
They're cheap and they fit well.
A t-shirt now costs over $30.
Next level, dude. Oh, but I know what you're saying. These are like $8.
I want something like cool
Yeah.
on. I want
You want
cool things
design.
on.
You want like two wolves fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're not touching that for under 30,
They used to be like $22.
if not less. I remember it wasn't a Hot Topic was buy one get one for like what was it, $10? So
Spencer's
it was like
always ran the sale of buy one get one half off.
and it was like $30 for
always
two
going
shirts
on.
maybe.
Yep. Now that's one shirt. Don't even get
How?
me started on like denim jeans. I haven't.
Socks for God's
Yeah,
sake.
socks are expensive. I haven't gone into the mall and clothes shopped in a very long time. That's where I used to get my jeans, usually from Hollister. They were like $60 then. I don't even want to know what they're at now.
I'm gonna guess like probably 80 or 90.
I have no idea. I don't even want to look.
$60 a lot of money for jeans.
Yeah, it's a fuck ton of money, and they would rip. I've had these ones. I think I paid $22 for. I've had them for 2 years now.
You good to go?
Yeah, these things are nice.
I like Levi's a lot. I've never had an issue with Levi's. That's what I wear.
I like super skinny jeans.
Yeah.
I don't think Levi's makes super skinnies.
They make skinnies, but I wouldn't say that they're like.
It's got to look like I paint on my jeans.
They would look like for you. They'd look like you painted your jeans because you have bigger legs.
I don't think my legs are that big, but
They're pretty tight. They squeeze my legs, and I got chicken legs. But yeah, they've always worked well for me. But yeah, just I don't know. I don't know if maybe we're not thinking as like it's very important how we're not gonna be able to afford to live here in like a few years, and I feel like maybe like we realize it, but we're not realizing it. You know what I mean?
I think because it's happening right now, it hasn't set in the consequences of what will happen.
Yeah.
You know, when people have to start moving back in with their parents at like 35 or 30 years old because they can't afford to live.
It's already happening.
It is already happening.
I know people personally.
Then when a lot more people start doing that, you're going to see and realize how you can't continue on like that. Like there has to be a change. Something has to give.
But what gives? You know what I mean? Like BlackRock is buying single family homes and outbidding everybody, keeping the market inflated extremely bad. Rate interest hikes are continuing to stay stagnant. They're not going down for years. Like we're at 8% right now for the average interest rate in Ohio. And I just want people to understand what the difference between like 3% and 8% interest is. It was 3% in 2021. If you bought a house for $130,000 at a 3% interest rate with no down payment, your payment would be like maybe $600-700. At 8%, that same house at the same cost would be $1,300.
Have you ever seen the total figures like that 3% versus 8% on a $130 house? Like the total.
How much total you pay at the end?
Yeah, it's
like
fucking ridiculous.
I just was doing that calculator today. $130,000, I think at like 7.8 or 8%, somewhere around there, was like $390,000 total paid for this $130,000 house.
You are paying more than double what that house is worth.
That's
for
crazy.
that $130,000 house.
Yes, that's so crazy.
How is that okay?
It's not.
That's accepted. People are not a lot, but people are buying homes at this rate.
And the average salary in Ohio is like $40-something thousand.
Yeah, I don't think it's above 50.
No. So it's not like we're below, you know what I mean? Like we're normal, and yet we can't afford to live. I don't get it. Let me see here. Yeah, it's 48,000. It's fucking bullshit.
Let me just interrupt the
Do
podcast.
it.
There we go. Okay, we're all good.
But yeah, 48 grand.
48 for Ohio.
Yeah. But I think that I feel like the system is like meant to like make you marry somebody to double your income.
It has to be.
Yeah, it's like the whole thing is like one big rigged game that they play, and that's part of it. Because you can't afford it on a single income. You have to get married, and money's part of the reason why people get married.
Yeah, a double income on a $1,000 apartment with two people making $40,000 a year.
That makes it way more affordable.
That makes it really isn't that bad. Well, I mean, it's not great, but it's not horrible.
Mm-mm.
Now, if you're single,
Good luck.
Then you're grasping.
So people will marry for money, and then they're miserable. They get divorced, and then the lawyers make money. The government makes money. This is all on purpose, in my opinion. This is not an accident or coincidence. So this is how it works. All of it, all the legalities around marriage, all the legalities around, or the reason that we only make so much money. All this stuff. It seems like a game that we're being played with.
That's why I'm gonna boycott it and not get married.
Yeah, put it to the man. I don't want to get married ever.
I think marriage is just some superficial thing.
Yes, but
that
women
people have ingrained in their. It's an indoctrination.
Yes,
of sort.
like Disney Channel or Disney movie type thing.
Yeah,
But it's so romanticized.
You grow up thinking you meet your special someone, and that's not the end. It's like you meet that person and you live with them. There's a further step, and that is marriage, and that is this binding thing that supposedly shows that you two are meant for each other and you will always stay together.
But the only difference is a piece of paper. Exactly,
and then a bunch of fucking legal fees and loopholes you have to go through. Like, why can't if it seems to me like if any sane person with a shred of logic in their head got into a situation where the way out costs a ton of money and just a headache,
and it's a 60% chance it's failing,
right? You'd think like, oh, that's not a good deal. But if you don't get married and you two decide to split, it can be clean. No legal fees, nothing. It can be very easy.
No lawyers.
But people are so ingrained with marriage, thinking this is the best thing that could ever happen to them. No, that could be one of the worst things that ever happened.
And it often is. Often is.
I know people who have been divorced multiple times.
Mm.
If it didn't work the first fucking time, why would you jump back in for a second?
80% within 5 years are remarried. Isn't that bizarre?
That is bizarre.
I want to know the brain, like the thinking, because the smart people do this. Like people that are not stupid, like do this. Like intelligent college graduates, like smart people get married and remarry and get married and like why?
It's so, because that's what they're grown up being told.
But we were too, and we're not geniuses, and we can see right through it.
I think if you are in a relationship for a long time at a still very impressionable age, like high school sweethearts, like that's your path. Your path is set. And you don't have a need or a want to look outside of that path. You don't see the exit on the highway there. You just see straight ahead because you're comfortable with this person and you see only the benefits of it. So you're stuck down that.
I see what you're saying. I hate that it's romanticized to the point that it is, because it causes a lot of happy couples to break up because the guy or the girl, somebody doesn't want to get married, and it causes turmoil, and then it ruins the relationship, and that frustrates me so bad.
I mean,
why are you're happy?
Let's be completely honest. Like, if you're already living with your significant other, and you have been for a while, what do you think is going to happen after you have this expensive wedding, and then a month later just get back on with your normal life? Nothing changes.
No.
You now have
more debt.
Yeah, more debt. A document that says you're married. And
your life's at stake every day.
Yeah, that's about it. Like your day-to-day
you pay more
life
taxes.
Does not change.
Yeah. What benefits do you receive? You don't. And there's a mindset that also happens when people get married to now where they'll take the partner for granted because they're legally binded. Like it's like they finished the game. It's that mindset of like I don't have to chase anymore. And once you stop chasing your partner, there it goes. See you. Your relationship's cooked.
Right. And you could just, become a fucking slob, and then your partner, just has to put up with it?
How do you know? We've seen people become slobs. Like they're fucking out of shape. They drink. They're assholes. They don't do anything, and their wife has to go home to that every day. Like, come on. No wonders you don't fuck.
I don't think either of us are saying something along the lines of like, well, don't get married because if you're in just a normal relationship, then that fear of this person can just leave is the driving force behind it. I'm not saying that at
No.
all. But when you get so comfortable with something, you stop wanting to
Yep.
be better or change anything. It's just, this is the norm now.
Yeah, you kind of you get content, and being content is the biggest problem. That's just, I don't know. I don't agree with it, but I know that this is what's going to cause like problems for us with relationships, though.
Yes, it is. It 100% will.
Because the question is inevitable of when are you going to get, like, if say you were in a serious relationship for like 3 years, she's going to ask you, when do you want to marry? Like, you're not going to marry me? Like, it's going to happen. And then when you say, I don't want to get married, that's not good.
No. But, you know, I think ending a relationship there is a hell of a lot better than sticking through and just doing it because you don't want the other person to leave you.
But at the same time, you could have had a perfectly happy and healthy relationship, but it was ruined by the romanticization of an idea that doesn't exist.
Yeah, that sucks.
That's so frustrating to me. And nobody can see this. It's clear as fucking day.
Right.
People are just blind. Put the blinders on.
They think if you don't want to get married, you aren't committed.
That's not true. I hate that.
I know, that's not
But
true at all.
you're right, though. And it's so stupid. Whatever. There's nothing we can do about it. I hate that. But, like, I don't know. I wish that the system was different, and I wish it wasn't an indoctrination, but all this is just to benefit the government at the end of the day. It's to benefit them with taxes. As part of the reason it's so pushed, I think. Was there marriage around like 800 years ago?
Oh, yeah.
So that people get married? I wonder how that worked. Like, I wonder if it was, legal.
I think back then it was a lot more strict. Like, infidelity was like a chopping block for you.
And you couldn't, this is another theory I have, this is kind of a funny one. You know, like you can't have sex before you get married in like Christianity and Catholicism? I think that was started because the dudes knew they had like weak dick game or something, and they're like, okay, if we're not married, she's gonna leave me when she finally, you know what I mean? I swear to God, that's like something I totally believe.
So some guy in the church was like, let's do this thing called marriage, where the person has to stay with you, no matter how bad your dick game is.
And that's why no sex until marriage, because dude, I got, you know what I mean? Like, what am I gonna do with my 2 inches and my fucking 30-second? You know what I mean? Like, that's what they're thinking. So that's what I'm saying. That's my theory. I totally believe part of it. I swear to God. Does that not make sense?
That's a good theory.
Like, she'll leave my ass. So that's my theory on that. But I don't know. What time is it?
Probably time for us to wrap this up.
Yeah, with 2 hours, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
A little over 2.
All right. Don't get married.
Well, yeah. I agree. But do it anyway, if you want to.
Do whatever makes you happy, I guess.
But it won't make you happy.
Because you'll get divorced, like 50%.
And you'll pick up a drinking problem or a drug problem.
Yeah.
You might even kill your spouse.
Yeah, you might become too content.
Yeah, and get fat.
Lazy.
Stupid.
All the way up to 6
You might hurt
if I had to.
Yeah, you might wake up with inflammation. Yeah, see? All right.
Yeah, we're done.